Now we will discuss the simultaneous occurrence of normal and abnormal loss and also the treatment of patents. So when normal and abnormal loss occurs simultaneously. So we have discussed the normal loss, abnormal loss, treatment of normal loss and also the treatment of abnormal loss. But here the normal and abnormal loss occurs simultaneously. Now when normal and abnormal loss occur simultaneously, normal loss is ignored in consignment account. That is, it will be adjusted in the value of stock. So this we have already studied, that is actually the normal loss will be ignored in case of consignment account, and in case there is consignment stock, it will be adjusted in the value of consignment stock by inflating the value of stock. And the normal loss will be valued in the usual manner. Again, you know the valuation of abnormal loss also, that is the original cost of abnormal loss. Then with that you will be adding the proportionate non-recurring expense of consignor and consignee. Then here the closing stock will be valued as valuation of consignment stock. So first of all, total cost of goods sent. Then add non-recurring expenses of consignor and consignee. Then from that you will be deducting, that is less value of abnormal loss. Then again you will deduct the value of normal loss, which is always 0 or nil. Then you will be getting the total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss. Okay, so for the purpose of valuing the consignment stock, first total cost of goods sent, then with that add non-recurring expenses of consignor, not proportionate non-recurring expense. Okay, so it is non-recurring expense of consignor and consignee, then deduct value of abnormal loss and also the value of normal loss. And the result will be total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss. Okay. Now the closing stock or the consignment stock can be valued as total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss divided by total units sent. The formula for calculating the value of closing stock is total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss divided by total units sent minus abnormal loss in units and also normal loss in units into stock in units. So this is the formula for calculating the value of closing stock. Now this is a question. Calculate the value of abnormal loss and closing stock and also prepare abnormal loss from the following details. Calculate the value of abnormal loss and closing stock and also prepare abnormal loss from the following details. So 10,000 kg of oil was consigned at rupees 32 per kg. Then freight rupees 8,000, packing rupees 10,000 and insurance rupees 2,000 were paid by the consignor. Then consignee's expenses were advertisement rupees 2,800 and go down rent rupees 800. Then 1,500 kg oil was lost in transit and the insurance company paid rupees 40,000 as compensation. Then 6,000 kg of oil was sold at rupees 38 per kg. Then stock with consignee was 2,000 kg, there being a normal loss of 500 kg. This is the question, and you have to calculate the value of abnormal loss, closing stock and also prepare abnormal loss and also prepare the abnormal loss account. Okay. So 10,000 kg of oil was consigned at rupees 32 per kg, which means the goods sent on consignment is 10,000 kg of oil at the rate of rupees 32 per kg. Then freight rupees 8,000, packing 10,000 and insurance 2,000. So the consignor's expense comes to 8,000 plus 10,000 plus 2,000. Then consignee's expense comes to advertisement 2,800 and go down rent 800. So both these expenses are recurring in nature. So there is no non-recurring expense in case of consignee. Then 1,800 kg oil was lost in transit. So the abnormal loss is 1,500 kg of oil. Then it was insured and the insurance company paid rupees 40,000 as compensation. Then you have to calculate the value of abnormal loss. Then 6,000 kg of oil was sold at rupees 38. So the sales is 6,000 kg at the rate of rupees 38 per kg. Then stock with consignee was 2,000 kg, there being a normal loss of 500 kg. So the normal loss is 500. So total goods sent 10,000. Then sales 6,000. So the remaining 4,000. Then from 4,000, 1,500 kg abnormal loss and 500 kg normal loss. So total loss is 2,000 kg. So 4,000 minus 2,000, remaining 2,000 kg will be in stock with the consignee. So these are the informations given. Now you have to compute the value of abnormal loss, compute the value of closing stock, and also you have to prepare the abnormal loss account. Okay, so we'll start. That is value of abnormal loss. Original cost of goods lost. So the original cost of goods lost is 1,500 at the rate of rupees 32. That is 10,000 kg was sent at the rate of rupees 32 per kg, and the abnormal loss is 1,500 kg. So the original cost of goods sent is 1,500 into 32, that is 48,000. Then add proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor. So the total expense of consignor is 8,000 plus 10,000 plus 2,000, that is 20,000. So 20,000 into abnormal loss 1,500 divided by total goods sent 10,000. So that comes to 3,000. So the value of abnormal loss is 48,000 plus 3,000, that is 51,000. Okay. So you obtain the value of abnormal loss. There is no need to add the proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignee. The first reason is the goods were lost in transit. And the second reason is all the expenses of consignee are recurring in nature and not non-recurring in nature. So we have to add only the proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor for the purpose of valuing the abnormal loss. Now next is the valuation of closing stock. So valuation of consignment stock, total cost of goods sent, that is 10,000 kg of oil at the rate of rupees 32, that is 3,20,000. Then add non-recurring expenses of consignor. So the total non-recurring expense of consignor 20,000. Then there is no non-recurring expenses of consignee, so there is no need to add expense of consignee. Then from this you have to deduct value of abnormal loss. So the value of abnormal loss you have already calculated, that is 51,000. Then you will be getting 2,89,000. Then you have to deduct value of normal loss, which is always nil, that is 0. So the total cost after abnormal and normal loss will be, abnormal loss and normal loss will be 2,89,000. Okay, so valuation of consignment stock, total cost 10,000 into 32, non-recurring expenses of consignor 20,000, total 3,40,000. Then value of abnormal loss already calculated 51,000. Then when you deduct this, you will get 2,89,000. Then from that deduct the value of normal loss, which is always 0. So 0. Then total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss will be 2,89,000. Now the value of closing stock can be computed by the formula total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss divided by total units sent minus abnormal loss in units minus normal loss in units. Okay, into stock in units. So total cost after abnormal loss and normal loss is 2,89,000. So this is 2,89,000 divided by total units sent 10,000 minus abnormal loss in units 1,500. Then minus normal loss in units 500. So it will be 2,89,000 divided by 10,000 minus 1,500 minus 500 into closing stock in units is 2,000. So the value of consignment stock will be 72,250. Thus we got the value of abnormal loss as 51,000. Second thing, the value of closing stock as 72,250. Then you have to prepare the abnormal loss account also. Then in abnormal loss, you know the journal entry, that is for recording the abnormal loss, it will be abnormal loss account entered to consignment. Okay, so abnormal loss account entered to consignment 51,000. Then in the question it is said that insurance company paid rupees 40,000 as compensation. So the amount of rupees 40,000 has already been paid by the insurance company. So we have obtained the cash. So it will be bank account entered to abnormal loss. So in case it is only claimed, it will be insurance claim or insurance company account debtor to abnormal loss. But here the insurance company has already paid the amount. Okay, so it will be bank account debtor to abnormal loss, that is 40,000. And the remaining 11,000 rupees that we will have to close by transferring to profit and loss account. So the journal will be profit and loss account debtor to abnormal loss, that is 11,000. So in abnormal loss account to consignment 51,000. Then by bank, that is amount received from insurance company 40,000. Then by profit and loss account, that is the amount remaining 11,000. So this is abnormal loss account. Now there is one more thing, that is treatment of bad debts. Now we have already studied there are three types of commission, or the commission can be classified into two types. That is, one is the ordinary commission and other one is special commission. Okay, ordinary commission means a certain percentage of commission which is calculated on the basis of sales. So a fixed percent on sales is called ordinary commission. And any commission which is paid over and above the ordinary commission is called special commission. Then special commission is again classified into two, that is overriding commission and del creditor commission. Now what is overriding commission and what is del creditor commission? Overriding commission means the commission paid by the consignor to the consignee for the purpose of introducing a new product in the market or capturing a new market. So overriding commission is that commission paid by the consignor to the consignee for the purpose of capturing a new market or for the purpose of introducing a new product in the market. Then del creditor commission is that commission which is paid by the consignor to the consignee for the purpose of bearing the risk of loss due to bad debts. Okay, so the consignee can sell the goods either on cash basis or credit basis. And in case it is sold on credit basis, then sometimes there may happen a bad debt or there is a risk of bad debt. Now, for the purpose of bearing the risk of bad debts, an additional commission is paid by the consignor to the consignee, and that commission is called del creditor commission. So when we talk about the treatment of bad debts, we must know whether the consignor has paid the del creditor commission or allowed the del creditor commission, or the consignor has not allowed or paid the del creditor commission. So in case the del creditor commission is allowed, then the risk of loss due to bad debt will have to be borne by the consignee. Okay, in case the del creditor commission is not allowed, then the risk of loss due to bad debt will be borne by the consignor. Okay, in case the del creditor commission is allowed or paid by the consignor, then the risk of loss due to bad debt will be borne by the consignee. And in case the del creditor commission is not allowed, then the risk of loss due to bad debts will be borne by the consignor. Okay. So this is the journal entry. Journal entry in the books of consignor and in the books of consignee. If del creditor commission is allowed, then no entry will be required because the commission is already paid and the risk of loss due to bad debt will have to be borne by the consignee and the consignor has nothing to do. So if del creditor commission is allowed, no entry is required in the books of consignor. But in the books of consignee, we require journal entry. The first entry will be bad debts account debtor to debtors, that is occurrence of bad debts or incurring of bad debts. So bad debts account debtor to debtors, then it will be closed by transferring to commission account because this consignee has already received del creditor commission. So the risk of loss or the loss due to bad debt will be closed by transferring to commission account. So in the books of consignee, if del creditor commission is allowed, then two journal entries are required. One is bad debts account debtor to debtors and the second one is the closing of bad debts by transferring to commission account, that is commission account debtor to bad debts. Then if del creditor commission is not allowed, then the journal will be consignment or profit and loss account debtor to consignee. So just like commission or expenses of consignee, this will be reimbursed by the consignor. So the journal will be consignment account debtor to consignee, or sometimes it may be written off to profit and loss account. So both the entries are correct, either consignment account debtor to consignee or profit and loss account debtor to consignee. Then if del creditor commission is not allowed, then in the books of consignee, it will be consignor's account debtor to debtors because the amount will be reimbursed by the consignor. So the journal will be consignor's account debtor to debtors. Okay. So journal entry in the books of consignor and consignee. If del creditor commission allowed, no entry in the books of consignor. In the books of consignee, it will be bad debts account debtor to debtors and commission account debtor to bad debts. Then if del creditor commission is not allowed, then consignment account or profit and loss account debtor to consignee. Then in the consignee's book, consignor's account debtor to debtors. So this is regarding the occurrence of normal and abnormal loss simultaneously. That is the treatment of normal and abnormal loss occurring simultaneously, and also the treatment of bad debts in case del creditor commission is allowed and if del creditor commission is not allowed. Okay, thank you.